welcome to Business and Finance here on Echo Television International. I am Rachel Tanzi. And as 2023 is drawing to a close, we are also seeing that the financial year is drawing to a close. Business is, of course, closing in, and also we are also seeing that, well, a lot of the financial policies, we are on the low key as it is now, up from the federal government level down to the state government level, and everything seems to feel like it's on a hold and a pause, and everybody is awaiting 2024 to see what the inflation rate will be, what the unemployment rate will be, and what our currency value will be. And of course, so many promises left, right, center from the president himself that 2024 will be better. We are seeing the 2024 budget forecast, our revenue forecast, we are seeing inflation forecast. We are also seeing what crude oil will be selling as estimated by the federal government, and everything that we are hoping will kickstart, not at the first quarter of 2024, but the second quarter rather. But then before we go into 2024, we are still very much in 2023, and the FAAC is seeing a hike, an increase, a significant amount of increase in revenue generated in November and then allocated, which of course will be used in the month of December. However, there is an increase, a very significant increase, and we are looking at 1.783 trillion naira. Now that is high, one of the highest for the year so far, and it means the year is closing in a good, on a good note when it comes to revenue allocation and how much the FAAC have been able to get. So right now we'll just go straight into the breakdown. Let's see what those incomes are, and each of those incomes, what the federal government was able to get, what the state government was able to get, and what the local government councils were able to get. Now, the Federation Account Allocation Committee has shared a total sum of 1.08 trillion naira. Now, this means that if the total revenue generated was 1.78, we will now see the breakdown that, of course, not all the 1.78 trillion went to the federal government, state government, and the local government. But of course, we will see some levies, we will see some expenses, we will be seeing some of the fees that were incurred and what it has been done with and why this is what was gotten at the end of the year. Now, this is according to a communique issued by the FAAC as its December 2023 meeting, that 1.08 trillion total distributed revenue comprised distributable statutory revenue of 378.306 billion, and we also have value added tax of 335.656 billion, and electronic money transfer levy revenue of 11.952 billion, and exchange difference revenue of 364.869 billion. Now, this is a total revenue of 1.6 trillion, which was available in the month of November. Now, while total deductions for cost of collection was 60.960 billion, total transfer, intervention, and refunds was 470.592 billion. Now, let's see, the gross stationary revenue was 882.56 billion naira received for the month of November. Now, this is higher than what was received in October, and what was received in October is 660.09 billion naira. Now, we are seeing an increase or difference of over 222.47 billion. Now, the gross revenue available from the value added tax in November, we're looking at 360.455 billion, higher than 347.343 billion available in the month of October. So we are seeing differences of 13.112 billion naira. Now, the committee stated that from the 1.08 trillion total distributable revenue, the federal government received a total of 402.867 billion naira. We have state government got 351.679 billion, and local government councils went home with 258 0.810 billion. Now, this leaves a total sum of 75.41 billion naira. That is 13% of mineral revenue was shared by the benefiting state as derivation revenue. Now, this is going to our oil producing states precisely. Now, from the 376.306 billion distributable statutory revenue, the federal government received 174.908 billion naira. The state government received 88.716 billion, and the local government councils received 68.396 billion. Now, the sum of 44.26 billion naira, this is 13% of mineral revenue, was shared to the benefiting state. Now, the federal government received 50.348 billion, state government received 167.82 billion, and then the local government council received 177.48 billion from 335.656 billion value added tax revenue. Now, we've seen that for statutory revenue. We've seen what state government got from value added tax, and then now let's see what state government were able to get from the electronic money transfer levy. Now, the federal government received 1.793 billion. The state government received 5.976 billion, and the local government council received 4.183 billion, making it a total of 11.952 billion. That is the revenue from electronic money transfer. Now, let's see what other revenue was received by the federal government. We're seeing 175.817 from the 364.869 billion exchange difference revenue. So now this is what the federal government got from exchange difference revenue. Now, states received 89.177 billion, and then the local government councils got 68.75 billion. Now, that is the sum of, was of 31.12 billion was given for mineral revenue shared to benefiting states as derivation revenue. So we are seeing that, of course, mineral revenue generating states are getting 13% from all of these different revenue streams. That is from the VAT, the money transfer levies, and then also from the statutory revenue also. Now, the balance in the excess crude account was 473,754.7 dollar. That is what we received from the FLAC. Now, we have income tax, excise duty, that is petroleum profit tax, oil and gas revenue, value added tax increased considerably. So no wonder we are seeing a revenue of 1.78. We are also seeing that CET levies, import duty, and electronic money transfer saw a decrease on the review. And of course, there could be many reasons, because when it comes to electronic money transfer, we are seeing that, of course, there is cash scarcity as it is now. So transactions are a little bit slow because people don't even want money transfer anymore. They are opting for cash just for some kind of safety. So we are seeing that such economic activities of making purchase and sellers demanding for cash, of course, will reduce how much is flowing electronically, and therefore reducing the income that will be generated through electronic money transfer. Now, we are seeing that, of course, our inflation have been on a steady increase. When it comes to allocations, revenue generated, it is good news for it to be on an increase. But when it comes to inflation, it is definitely not good news. It means that the standard of living is going low and low, and Nigeria's inflation doesn't look like it's about to slow down anytime. We are seeing projections that are moving up, and it haven't been stable, and perhaps we are going to see the predictions keep going high, and so far so good. The inflation haven't failed us in meeting what was predicted. Now, we are seeing that in November, we are having this inflation rate as 28.20%, which is higher from 27.33% in October. So we're looking at 0.87 percentage point surge. That is, it went higher by 0.87%, and this is a new high. And of course, the highest so far, because since January, we just keep seeing an upward turn in inflation. And I said for any other thing, when it comes to revenue, it is good news. But for inflation, it means bad news, because it just means that, of course, goods and services are going high in the market. And we saw that in October, food inflation was as high as 30%. So we're looking at food inflation as one of the major reasons why we are having inflation not slowing down but increasing month on month. Now we're looking at the movement. The November 2023 headline inflation rate showed an increase of 0.8%. This is higher, and if we are seeing a 0.87% increase, it means we are going to be over 29.50% for December, and we are almost reaching 30%, and that will be outrageous. Let's wait and see what December inflation rate will look like for Nigeria. So in the past days and in the past week, World Bank has been having a lot of opinion about Nigeria's economy. And it's World Bank, of course, so they have a lot of opinion because we always run to them to borrow. I mean, anytime we're on a borrowing spree, World Bank is always there to give us. We have debts with World Bank that will last us over 25 years, and the Nigerian government is not about stopping. So when the World Bank steps in and say, you know what, Nigeria needs to do this, Nigeria needs to do that, you need to do this, you're not transparent about this, it's not surprising, because of course they know our money workflows, they know our money in and out, they know the monetary and the fiscal decisions or policies we should be making. So let's just quickly go down and see a little bit on what World Bank have to say about certain things, and what are their opinions, and what they think the Nigerian government should be doing differently. Now, first of all, they let Nigerians know that inflation has pushed over 24 million Nigerians into poverty. Now, this didn't just happen in 2023, but we're looking at the lifespan of over 5 years. So we're counting from 2018 up to 2022. We're seeing over 24 million Nigerians in poverty within 5 years. Now, this was revealed recently in a development update report this December coming from World Bank. Now, they said that the sluggish growth and rising inflation have increased poverty from 40% in 2018 to 46% in 2023. Pushing an additional 24 million people below the national poverty line. This is all from the report. It said the number of poor rose from 79 million in 2018 to 104 million in 2022, with urban poor more exposed to inflation, increasing from 13 to 20 million. Meanwhile, poor people in rural areas increased from 67 to 84 million. Now, in the medium term, the recent reforms will reverse this trend through higher growth and lower inflation, but to a limited extent, with poverty rate decreasing from 46% in 2024 to 44% in 2026. That is not a good enough decline. It will just reduce 2% within 2 years, then it means we are still going to be having a sluggish growth. However, we have seen that the World Bank has continuously praised some of or most of the monetary policy by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and with this forecast, you see that they are hopeful for our growth rate in 2024. However, it's still very slow. If between 2024 to 2026, we will only be seeing a 2% increase, then it's still a slow growth, and the poverty line will still be high. Now, they insist that petrol should sell at 750 naira per liter because it doesn't make sense. With our exchange rate, it should be above the 650 liter that it is in the country. I mean, we have unions kicking in that let the World Bank, let the federal government not do what the World Bank is saying. Of course, they're not doing it yet, but with the way things are going, for sure, we will see that eventually, slowly and gradually, petrol will reach 750 naira to a liter. Now, the bank lead economist for Nigeria, we have seen Mr. Alex reveal this during his presentation in the Nigerian Development Update, which they titled Turning the Corner. Now, during the event, which is hybrid, he noted that based on the official exchange rate today, as it is now, a dollar is over 1,000 in exchange to a naira. Fuel should cost 750 naira to a liter. Now, it doesn't seem like petrol prices are not fully adjusting to market condition. So that hints at the partial return of the subsidy if we estimate what is the cost of reflection of retail PMS price of the would be, and assuming the importation is done at the official FX rate. Well, whether it is at the official FX rate or not, the Nigerian government, and we've seen the federal government, President Bola Tinubu, precisely saying that fuel pump price will not reach 750. He assured Nigerians, and he have kept to that promise. And even at 650, we have businesses closing in. So imagine if we were to get to 750, we will have every business shutting down. I mean, not all, but majority, more and more will join the queue. So we just hope that whatever the federal government is doing to sustain fuel pump price at 650 naira to a liter, they continue doing that and perhaps just allow the fuel pump price to gradually grow. But before then, we hope to see that some of the economic activities happening in the country will make sure that fuel pump price don't go higher, but it's maintained at a level that people can still thrive in Nigeria. Well, that is World Bank's opinion, and it's still up to the federal government of Nigeria to decide what premium motor spirit will sell in its country. Now, they also predict that inflation to decline in the first half of 2024. That will be good news because we just saw that our inflation rate is at 28.20%. This is a 0.87% increase, and if we're to see that same amount of increase in December, then we are looking at almost getting to 30%. So I mean, for this prediction, I am looking forward to that, and I hope that what World Bank is saying will definitely come to be. Now, this said importation restriction has cost us over $300 million in tax evasion. Now, that is a lot, and this goes to illegal financial flows. And when you're thinking, what is illegal financial flow? We are looking at drug trafficking. We're looking at how NDLEA have been busting barons and drug lords and kingpins left, right, center. Now, any illegal activity going on in the country is an illegal financial flow. It is a financial flow because it means these businesses are not getting taxed. Also, when we're looking at ban on certain products, it means there are people that are importing these things illegally. And when you do any importation illegally, it means you are evading tax. So automatically, the federal government is not making profit on tax due to these illegal items. So yes, some of the ban, we are seeing the World Bank saying, okay, these illegal financial flows is making Nigeria lose over $300 million. So it means that the federal government of Nigeria really needs to look into it and see how to curtail. Of course, we can't legalize these illegal items. However, we are supposed to look at what are these items that are being illegally moved into the country. First of all, can we open our borders to them, or if it just means more imbalanced trade? Or should we tighten our borders, which we are doing it, but obviously they're still finding a way in. But then, whatever measures the federal government is supposed to take, we should try by all means to not lose $300 million yearly. Now, they call for more transparency from the NNPCL. And this has been used for like over a week now. Now, they're saying that the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation is not transparent about the financial gains from the fuel subsidy removal. Now, this extends to subsidy arrears that are still being deducted and the impact of subsidy removal on federation revenues. Now, the bank noted the Washington-based made this call in its Nigerian Development Update. Yes, we've seen it titled Turning the Corner. We have the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy kind of agreeing to the World Bank, saying that the government is ready to scrutinize the revenue flow from the NNPCL. Now, according to World Bank, while revenue gains from the exchange rate reforms are visible, More clarity is needed on oil revenues, including the fiscal benefits from the PMS subsidy reforms. Of course, we've just been seeing the monetary aspect of it. How much NNPCL have saved so far? We are seeing us getting to over 2 trillion naira. However, what is the fiscal benefit of these reforms to Nigeria? We need to know what it means to households. We need to know what it means for individuals. We need to know what it means for unemployment. We need to know what it means for our GDP per capita rate, not just how much we are saving, but then the World Bank is saying NNPCL need to be more transparent. Yes, they are telling us they're saving money. We are saying that yes, money has been saved, but more transparency is needed, and that is what the World Bank has been hammering. But recently, we just saw the NNPCL boss Mele Kyari get an award for transparency, and the World Bank is saying the NNPCL is not transparent. Well, it depends on what World Bank sees as transparency and what Nigerians see as transparency. Now, I'll end the show by saying naira scarcity is still persisting, and we have marketers, especially people who are getting ready for the Christmas holiday, angry about the scarcity. I mean, it means more inflation. It means people are beginning to buy naira. It means that the POS agents are charging more for transaction, and the ATMs are deserted because it's not disposing money anymore. Well, CBN blames it on hoarding. They're saying there's enough money out there. They have given enough cash. Nigerians have no need to worry. We've seen this for the past week, but it seems no matter what the CBN is saying, there is no cash out there, and the CBN is insisting that we're not to blame. There's money out there. People are hoarding it. So I want to tell Nigerians, please stop hoarding. We need to have a great Christmas celebration. People need to go to the market. We are not yet in a completely cashless system. So people need this cash to make their transaction, as we have marketers even insisting that you have to transact with cash. So I just hope for those of us at home sitting down listening to me, and you know you're hoarding the naira because of security. You don't want to face what we faced at the beginning of the year. CBN is trying to tell you that, you know what, you have no worry doing that. There's enough out there. Please stop hurting. Money needs to flow, or if not, you are going to be causing more damage to the economy. And this is how far I will go today on the show. Keep a date with me next time. Goodbye.